because I don't really know how it's going to come out, but you can go ahead and start.
So this is another flowing episode of Success and Sisterhood. I am Destiny Inspired the Confidence Queen.
I'm Tiona Blyden, the Proverbs 31 boss. And y'all, today we just gonna let y'all in on a little conversation because we were supposed to record this thing an hour and 15 minutes ago, and we have just been on here talking
It
just
got so
about
good.
things. And that's what I love about sisterhood. And it's really important for you to get around some people that can handle your power, that they can handle your questions.
And your pain.
Yes, and your pain.
We
Listen,
started off with some pain. And we went from
started off,
pain to power.
yep, and being just very honest
Yeah.
with where you are. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to do this thing by myself no more.
Mhm.
And as much as I got a husband and kids and all that stuff, but I want sisters.
Yeah.
I want sisters to do community service with. I want sisters to build things with. I want sisters to lose weight with and go to the gym.
And then
I
when you lose the weight as a sister, you pass it to me, and then I put it
want
on in all the right places. Yeah.
listen, you should have came listen, because I told my family, I said, listen, I was a big girl. Don't ever let me get this big. Y'all should have had an intervention with me. Like I mean, I don't think I realized how much
Mhm.
and it's not about the look.
Yeah.
So let me just get to this because I think that women are beautiful in all shapes and all sizes. So listen,
Absolutely.
y'all, don't think that I have a problem with it, but I'm 5'1", okay? And I was pushing 200 pounds. And it was a lot of stress, unspoken stress, just showing up and navigating through things and eating my emotions,
Mm.
continuing to push, but eating my emotions. And it showed up in my health and in my mental health,
Mhm.
And so um, your environment, how you look, how your mind is, it says a lot about where you are as a person. I remember going to my dietitian and she was like, she said I was doing 75 hard at the time. Anybody that ever done 75 hard, you got to work out 2 times a day, 45 minutes each,
Ooh.
6 hours apart. You got to drink a gallon of water. You on a certain kind of diet. You're doing what is it? Like taking a picture every day. You doing all these different things
Right.
and I wasn't losing the weight.
Mm.
And so the dietitian, this got to be for somebody, right? Dietitian looked at me. She said, "Listen, it don't matter how much you work out. It don't matter how much you diet. You are not going to lose this weight until you reduce the level of stress you're under."
Ooh, that's true. That affects your cortisol. And with
She was
cortisol
like,
low,
"That's what
that's
she
big
said. Your
news.
cortisol is so high." She was like, "You
Mm.
ain't gonna lose no weight." And I was in day
Yeah.
20 of 75 hard.
Mm. Mm.
And my weight was not budging, but it was because I didn't have nobody to talk to. And I just continued to get up and show up and act like everything was okay when literally, like inside, I was even just struggling to get out the bed to make things happen. Yes, we moved to Georgia, but it's stressful moving. And I had a very stressful year the year before that. And
Yeah.
all of that was showing up in my weight. And so I just wish that somebody would have been like, "Hey, girl, you about 30 pounds heavier. Come here. What's going on with
Now
you?"
that's a good point you made. Now, for people who have friends or loved ones or people you're close to who they may see them, whether it's weight or anything else, how would you have wanted the conversation to be addressed and started? Like what would have been the right way to come to you with it without it feeling like an attack or feeling like judgment? That's a good learning moment for someone, even myself. Like how would you want that to be handled?
I think you should start with the concern.
Mm,
Like,
that's good.
not with the symptoms,
Not
which
the
is the
criticism, but
weight.
the concern.
Yeah, not with the weight,
Mm,
not with the you seem a little, your mental is like coming saying, "Hey, I noticed that over the last couple years, you've had all of these things going on, and I'm concerned about you.
that's
I'm
good.
concerned about you. Like, I'm concerned. How are you handling
Mm-hmm.
all that has been going on in your life. Do you have somebody to talk to? What are
Mm.
you doing to manage your stress levels in this? And notice I ain't say nothing about no weight,
Yeah, I said that's so good because it opens up the conversation.
but just
Mm,
showing
so good.
concern. And when you show the concern, everything else that I'm struggling with is going to come out. Because the reason why I'm eating it is because I don't have nobody coming to me and asking me about what's happening with me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like being a strong person is such a gift and a curse.
For sure.
It is. It's like,
For
I
sure.
mean, I don't want to go as far as calling it a curse, but it is challenging because you almost, and I'm learning this now, you have to strategically put other strong people around you,
Mm-hmm.
like strategically place people around you who know what it's like to be drowning and nobody checks on them.
Mm-hmm.
So that when they see you, when they see the signs, when they see what they just went through 2 years ago, they can look at you and say, she not all right. Everybody think that she, and I can easily see that from people. I can
Yeah.
see it in a text message. I can see it in a conversation. I'm like, she ain't all right.
Right.
Like because I know what it's like it showing up, especially for a strong person, is
Mm-hmm.
not the measure of whether or not they okay. You got to look at the other
Good.
symptoms. You got to look at the other symptoms. And now I've learned to strategically place people around me that can handle, my wins and my wounds, all of them together at the same time. And it's hard to find people like that, especially when you're a person that people admire, that they look up to, that they want to get something from. Sometimes I don't want to give nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just want to just be there, be safe, feel loved,
That's it.
and just feel understood and just to be cared for.
Mm.
Like those are the things that, the older I get, like things become less important and relationships have become like my top priority. I was just telling my daughter the other day, she's 13, she's starting to get a little snappy, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I told her, I said, because I mean, I gave her the same energy my mother would give me when you starting to get snappy. But then I went in her room. I was brushing my teeth last night, getting ready for bed, and I was like, I don't really want to parent her how I was parented,
That's good.
not during my teenage years. So I was like, I was asking myself, like, what does she need to hear so that I can help her do what I need her to do, but so she can feel the encouragement and not the ridicule. Because as a
Mm.
teenager, you don't need all of that. And so I went to her and I was like, you're 13, you're at the age that most women butt heads with their daughters.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want that for me and you. So here's the reason why I'm telling you the things that I'm telling you. This is what I'm noticing, and out of my concern, I'm disciplining you and setting up a path of structure for you. And I was like, it won't help you to be resistant against this because it's for your benefit. Here's what can happen if you continue doing what you're doing.
Mm.
And here's what I foresee if we able to course correct right now.
That's
And
it.
so I was like, if you don't understand what I'm doing, it's okay for you to ask me why I'm doing it. But I don't want us to have a contentious relationship because there's going to be moments as a teenager where you're going to need your mom. And I don't want you to not be able to reach out to me because you're mad.
Mm. That's good.
And so I think like the biggest thing for me is like once you start getting healed and once you start finding safe spaces with other women and once you start articulating what you need, you start becoming emotionally intelligent, then you can start thinking about what other people need to,
Mm.
you know?
Mm.
And just because I'm her mother doesn't give me the right to steamroll over her feelings.
Oh, that's good.
That's I don't want her to let any other woman in her life do that. So what better way to give her an example of how it is to lovingly hold somebody accountable
Lovingly.
by being her mother and showing her how to do that. How
Mm.
did we get here in this conversation?
Girl, it's good to me. It's good to me. I mean, it just goes back to the question was how do you communicate that with someone when you see them going in a space? And again, sisterhood. How do you come to a sister when you notice there's obviously a problem taking place? You may see it in the weight, you may see it in her personality changes, you may see it in her mood, like being able to come to that person. And I love how you described it. It's basically saying don't lead with the criticism, lead with the concern
Yeah.
because people are more likely to shut down if they just feel like it's an attack or maybe something that maybe they're aware of but they're trying to ignore or maybe they're not even aware of it, but the way you approach it can deter them from even going on that journey. Sometimes the truth can be hard to hear and sometimes it just need to be said, but again,
Yeah.
if you want to salvage that relationship, leading with concern. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's
And
good.
being like, hey, this is why I'm doing this. It's
Mm-hmm.
not to hurt you. It's not to, like, even for you, Mother's Day was coming like 2 days before,
Yeah.
like, dropped in my spirit, like, make sure you send her a message. Man, like, I actually sent it on Mother's Day, but my intent was to do it even before then to let you know, like, I know this is a hard day for some people,
Yeah.
especially people that have lost their moms. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what that's like, but hey, I'm here. So
Yeah,
I
you
was even like, even if you would have messaged me like, hey girl, I need to can you do brunch? Like I made
that
sure
actually is
that
a good idea.
I
Never
made
thought of
sure
that.
I made sure
Oh,
that I
bad
had
idea.
room in my schedule.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah,
like
that's good.
if you like, hey, I just need to get out, I'll be like, all right, because I knew I was going to dinner. The kids make me breakfast that morning. So I'm like, okay, it's the middle of the day. If she like, let's
And I literally went to take myself to the movies and literally sat through two movies. Yep,
yeah,
went
because
to the
it's
movies.
so I was watching this guy on social media and his mom had passed and it was like 6 p.m. when he posted it. So like he was posting all day. He was just busy. Early in the day, he was giving away. He was like, if you're not being celebrated today and you're a mom and you can't afford it, tag me on this so I can send you money so you can go to dinner. You take yourself to dinner,
Wow.
right? And then he was just like saying things throughout the day because he's a relationship coach. But then at 6 p.m., his heart came out. And on that post, he said, I'm not gonna lie. It was a actual like his words. He was like, I'm not gonna lie. I tried my best to stay busy today because I can't fathom the idea of you not being here.
Mm,
Like that was like,
that's
that's
heavy.
why he was busy.
Yeah.
So for me, I was kind of like, okay, this day is coming. I know you felt that because I
Yeah.
felt that. Like,
For me, I tried to stay busy. Like I was like, I
yeah,
gotta do something
he
because
was like, I'm not gonna lie, but it's 6 o'clock. I gotta acknowledge the fact that
yeah.
this is your day and I can't celebrate it.
Yeah, that was my biggest thing. It's like, man, so I did good as far as the emotional piece, but there was still like an emptiness. I just felt kind of empty. And I'm like, man, like I literally don't have anything to do today of significance of the day. So I went to church. No, I normally go to multiple services. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that today because I don't want to sit through all of the Mother's Day presentations. I don't know how I will handle it. So I didn't
Right.
want to tempt myself. And then I also did not want people comforting me. You know what I'm saying? When people and they mean well, but I thought it would trigger me by, I know your mom is okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm
Like,
yeah. And then if it's back to back, so it's like, okay. So I was like, well, I was gonna go to the mountains. There's this place in the mountains I go to every so often, and I wanted to go there, but it's a quaint like bed and breakfast, so they're not there 24 hours a day. So I was trying to book a last minute trip there, which I could have, but I couldn't guarantee somebody would be there and even see my reservation on Mother's Day. So I was like, and the weather was bad. I was like, God forbid I go out in a thunderstorm and get stuck trying to.
right.
So I just took myself to the movies, and it's so interesting. The first movie I saw didn't see any of the previews, didn't know what it was about. It was like in the new Avengers movie, and the movie starts off with the main character, the protagonist. She is a sister of, was it the Black Widow, whoever she was in the last Avengers, and she was a sister of her now. And so it starts off her saying, my sister died and I just feel this void. And I was like, way to start off a movie. It
Right.
was crazy because the movie actually spoke to me on so many levels, and it was about the whole purpose. If this spoiler alert, if anybody ain't seen, the whole purpose of the movie was about I love how it dealt with mental health. It dealt with
Mm.
depression. It dealt with, because the villain who ended up, they made you feel for him because it wasn't really him. He had mental instability and they run tests on him. So he got these powers. But then the dark side came up, which was the void. And in the beginning, before we knew he was a villain, he asked her the question, what do you do with the void? And she said, you just push it all the way down and ignore it. And so he
Mm.
tried doing that. And then the void turned into darkness and it started consuming him. But by the
Jesus.
end of the movie, which ties into Success and Sisterhood, by the end of the movie, the darkness overcomes him. So they're two separate entities. And he's sitting in a room. Oh, this thing spoke. He's sitting in a room. And when she came to find him, she said, why are you sitting here? He was like, he's doing it, but this is the only room that was safe. He said the only way to overcome it is to get through every room. And every room showed the traumas of his life that he had been running from. And anybody, once you turn to a black pillar, you go into rooms that shows you every trauma that you're running from. And you
Mm.
have to face it. So finally she said, let's just face every room together. So they
Mm.
band together and they go through every room and fight whatever is going on
My
in that room.
gosh.
And in the end, he's now face to face with the darkness, the dark version of him. And so he starts beating on it. And you see him rising now in darkness. And the other characters, they say, no, that's what he wants. He wants you to become so angry and bitter that you become a different person. Long story short, they break free from their chains. They run to him and they hug him and they simply just start saying, you're not alone. You're not
Wow.
alone. You're not alone. And little by little, you see the darkness lowering. And many women, we feel like we're doing this alone until it consumes us. So we become a completely different person. We operate in perfectionism. We operate in people pleasing. We operate sometimes in aggression because we are trying to do it all alone and we feel this void. And so when they came together, it spoke to me. It was like, no, you're not depressed. You're not alone. You don't have a void. You just lack relationship.
Come
You
on.
lack people who love you enough to say, I'm not going to let you sit in darkness by yourself.
Mm.
When I first moved back to Atlanta, I was with my cousin and I literally black out the room and just sit in the darkness. Even on my laptop, the whole room is dark. And they were coming like, what are you doing? Like, it's just how I, now the blinds, I know, now I remember I open the blinds. Before it's like, no, I just want to sit here in the darkness. I was like, we're not going to let you sit here. Get up, get out the house. Let's go. Michael, she'll come, let's go somewhere. I'm like, no, I'm okay. No, we're getting out. She made me get out of my dark place. Of course, I had to make the decision, but it was her saying, no, I love you so much. I know you're going through, I know you're grieving. I'm not going to let you do it alone. And that's what this is about. That's what success and sisterhood is about. Not like you say, you don't have to go alone. So
No.
receiving that, I appreciated that text on Mother's Day. I appreciated the check-ins. Like, that's what this is about.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, you just spoke a whole lot, a whole
Girl,
sermon
God spoke to me through a movie. I
with that
thought I'm just
movie.
going to see some
That's how it
superheroes.
is when you prophetic. You get a prophetic word
Girl,
from
I was
everything.
like, the movie literally just played my life. And I'm like, this is crazy, God. Of all the movies I could have seen, this the one I watched.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is that the thing is consistent. When you face everything alone, you feel like you're by yourself
That's it.
and you become bitter and isolated and angry about the things that's happened to you. When if you have a community around you, you realize you ain't the only one that's going through it. And there's a better way to navigate through it. And so I feel like with sisterhood and success, we are creating
Yeah.
what we needed. And this is not a place where in some circles, when people see that you have something that could be different or maybe shine brighter than what they have in some areas, they try to quiet you or keep you hidden. This is not a space like that. Um, Whenever you see two women come together like me and Destiny and work together and collaborate, you can tell. Well, I'll just tell you all this. You can tell you can learn a lot about a woman when you see who she collaborates with. That's what I'll tell you.
That's heavy.
Because some people can only collaborate with their clients or their students or their support subordinates or people that they've raised up. But
That they need,
uh,
that
that
need
yeah, and
them.
so it is so there are, and this is just, it is what it is. It don't matter if it's in the gospel or whatever, but leadership, period.
Leadership
But
period.
great leaders, really good leaders, are okay with even the people that they raise up raising above them.
Yeah.
They're all right with it, because that is the point of leadership to begin, is to duplicate and even shorten the process that you have. But even like being, when there are some women, when they're around other powerful women, they look for something to be wrong with each one of them
Yeah.
and find a reason to separate them from those people. Or they may be in that environment and they shrink, right?
Yep.
And there are women like us, where when we get around our sisters that operate in the same way, it makes us stand tall.
We shine. We don't shrink. We
It
shine
makes you
because
stand tall. Like,
together.
it makes you stand tall and collaborate.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how you know that a person is secure and who they are. I was just reading this book. I'm pulling up my notes from the book right now, because I always get that. It don't matter. Prophetic words just come from wherever, right? And so the one thing that the guy in the book was saying, he says, your behavior reflects what you see as your future self, not what you say. He also says behavior follows identity.
1000%.
So when we show up, when we behave a certain way, respond a certain way, interact with people a certain way, it shows who we truly believe we are,
Mm-hmm.
not who we say we believe we are.
No,
And
that's
so
good.
if God has called you to be a leader, if he has called you to be successful, if he has called you to lead other people, a lot of times when you're called to lead other people, and you're called to women especially, you have a lot of emotional hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of trust issues and challenges that you got to work through, because that is the very thing that you're called to eradicate and change. And
1000%.
so in this, in sisterhood and success, I'm so excited about us opening up the doors, God. Next week, doors are opening up to sisterhood and success, where you don't have to choose between sisterhood, collaborating with women. Like, even if you're like, hey, that's me, I usually only hang out with people that I feel like I'm better than. That's cool, but you're going to learn how to do something different
Yeah.
in this space. A lot of the things that we don't, a lot of the things that we do is based on what was modeled for us.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how to do something different, because we have seen people go before us and do that, to compete instead of complete, compete instead of collaborate. We're not doing it here. And so even if that's something that you want to learn how to do, is definitely going to be a safe space to do it here. You can have sisterhood and success. Is enough success for all of it to go around. When I look at people um John D. Rockefeller or Napoleon Hill and all of those people, like, the thing that I love about Andrew Carnegie, like even in some of the greatest successful people in America, is Andrew Carnegie learned about the steel industry from somebody in his mastermind. So somebody in his circle had the information, and he got connected to that person, and that person showed him how to set up his business, and he became a steel giant, created a whole new industry in that age. And so who you are connected to is important, but if you don't know how to foster relationships, if you don't know how to collaborate, if you don't know how to handle things emotionally intelligently, that is something that can stunt your growth in business, that can stunt your leadership growth, and also determine how far it is that you can go. And so all of those things are going to be happening in this space. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. I would say one of the marks of a true leader is, if you're really a good leader and a true leaders recreate more leaders. They don't just stay the only leader and everyone's following them. A true leader has the ability to see the potential in others and to develop it so much so that they also flourish. My queens, whenever they like join a program, do something, I was like, I want to be just like you. Like, I want to be like you and do like you. Da, da, da. I'm like, no, you don't. The goal is to never be like me. I would tell them the goal is for you to never be like me. My goal is being your coach, your mentor, be better than me.
Yeah.
If I'm not aiming you to be better than me, then I'm doing something wrong. Because here's the thing, I believe in the law of the lid, meaning you can only go as high as the lid you're under. So if I'm constantly evolving and growing and going higher, you can't help but keep going higher. But you have the advantage over me. If done right, you get to take decades of what took me to learn, experience, and blood, sweat, and tears, and it's getting consolidated into days for you. So
Yeah.
you now can take it and catapult and be greater than me. So the goal is never for you to be just like me. We don't need another me. Be like you and take what I've given you and excel, because there is somebody that needs what you have that will never come to a Destiny Inspire, but they'll come to you. So if you're not the kind of leader who's trying to cultivate and develop actual leaders, you just want followers, then you're not doing it right. Join Success and Sisterhood as well. We're gonna cover that as well.
Yeah. Listen, and I mean, it really is. It's for women who want sisterhood and haven't been able to find it, and it's women who desire sisterhood and don't even know how to begin to accept it, to find it, or be a sister. Because we both have been, well, I don't know about you, Destiny, but I've been on both ends
Yeah,
of that thing. I've been on both ends, and some things you have to catch it by being in the environment.
yeah.
We're going to go a lot farther in this next season of our lives if we learn to go together,
Go together.
if we learn to collaborate. Like even now, like some of my clients that are in the Proverbs 31 Boss coaching program, they are learning that in the economy, the fastest way to enroll, the fastest way is to collaborate with someone who serves the same people you serve, but y'all serve them in different ways.
In different ways.
Strategic collaboration is the best way.
Partnerships.
Even for me, having an opportunity to go before 500 women, you know how long it would take me to get in front of 500 leads in a matter of 1 to 2 weeks, 500 people through collaboration, helping somebody else get what they want, and you also get what you want, and you're serving the same community. But how can you even take advantage of this collaboration economy when you don't know how to get along with people? You pick people apart just because they're different than you. Or when you have to, because you have trust issues, you try to find something wrong, or you only show a little part of yourself because you're scared somebody's going to steal your ideas, or whatever it is. All the things that you have been through, we can handle every part of it. It's really time for us to collaborate and go farther together than we can go alone.
Yeah. That's
So,
it. African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, let's go together.
yep. All right, guys. So at the bottom of this video, go ahead and click the link for our waitlist. Success and Sisterhood waitlist is going to be up for another week. And following next week, when we drop our next video, you are going to see the application available to you. Now, listen, this is the caveat. Because this is a new program, the investment is going to be lower than it will be in the future. The second thing, because we want to test it out, try it out. We've had reverse engineered this stuff for us, but this is the first time we're launching the program. So we are going to have founding members that are coming in at a founding members level. But also, guys, we only can take 20 women. And the reason for that is so that we don't just enroll you into something and not check and chart your progress. It's engineered in a way in which we can serve the 20 women and help them get to where they're trying to go. Help them to forge relationships within that group. Teach them how to collaborate. There are a lot of things that are going to be happening over this time that can't happen if it's a large group. So if you're interested, go ahead and get on the wait list, because you will be the first to find out when the applications open up. and your application will be considered first.
That means don't drag your feet. That means that means be about where it is that you say you're going. We talked about it. Behaviors are tied directly to your belief. So how you're showing up, if you don't like the behaviors that you're seeing in your business and your relationships, then that means you got to change the belief about what you think about yourself. And you have to believe that this is a program that you need to be a part of. So just fill out the application. And together we'll collaborate and see if it's a good fit. That's all I got. I'm excited to be here with you, Queen. Excited that you queens are watching and joining. We cannot wait to work with you and to talk to you. Bye.
See you next week.
Success and sisterhood.